Shalom, my name is Brian, and I am Canadian, and I just had an awesome, I'm also Jewish, and I just had an awesome victory over Jewish oppression. Now, what happened was, I want to observe the Sabbath, as it says in the fourth commandment. The fourth commandment is, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy, for in 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord. In it thou shalt not do any work, neither you, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor the stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the seventh day and hallowed it. And I had been wanting to observe the Sabbath, but my boss said, no, you have to work on Saturday when we tell you you have to work. So I did. So how did I have victory? I did some research, and I found out that the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, which is part of the Canadian Constitution, has this to say. It says, Section 6, Subsection 2, every citizen of Canada and every person who has the status of a permanent resident of Canada has the right, A, to move and to take up residence in any province, and B, to pursue the gaining of a livelihood in any province. Section 15, Subsection 1 says, every individual is equal before and under the law, and has the right to equal protection and equal benefit of the law without discrimination, and in particular without discrimination based on race, national or ethnic origin, color, religion, sex, age, or mental or physical disability. And Section 24, Subsection 1 says, anyone whose rights or freedoms, as guaranteed by this charter, have been infringed or denied may apply to a court of competent jurisdiction to obtain such remedy as the court considers appropriate and just in the circumstances. Where, in proceedings under Subsection 1, a court... that's a different thing. That's Subsection 2. So what I did, after I found out that they don't have the right to force me to work Shabbat, I got a little device called a sound recorder, like this, and I called a meeting with my bosses, and I said, you no longer have the right to force me to work Sabbath, because the Canadian Constitution guarantees me that right. And you can't fire me, and you can't lay me off, and you can't reduce my hours. And they got really mad at me, and they swore at me, and they threatened me many different ways. But I stuck to my guns, and I recorded the evidence, and that was on Monday. Today is Wednesday. This morning, they said, he's right, we can't do anything. We can't force him to work on Shabbat. And so, it's the Jewish victory over oppression. The definition of oppression is exercising authority over a person in violation of their basic human rights, which is life, freedom, and life, liberty, and property. So, this is Edmonton. And Edmonton is part of Canada. There's downtown Edmonton, way down there, and off in the distance. And everybody in Canada, this is you, Canada, if you're Jewish, or if you're a Christian, and you want to take the Shabbat off in honor of the fourth commandment, no boss can tell you no, and they cannot fire you, and they cannot lay you off, and they cannot reduce your hours. Praise Adonai. Is our God not awesome? Shalom.